The man arrives in the big city for the first time and gets accidentally bumped into by a girl. The protagonist instinctively wants to apologize, but unexpectedly, she actively admits it's her own fault. This scene instantly helps the protagonist regain his confidence. He then flips his hair, indicating he wants to be friends with the girl. Little does he know, all of this is witnessed by the girl's boyfriend, who steps forward and punches the protagonist right in his chubby face. And it's this very punch that instantly makes the protagonist face reality. It turns out people in small towns and big cities are all the same. Everyone's first instinct isn't to intervene, but to pull out their phones and start recording. Except for the girl, no one cares whether the protagonist lives or dies. After this harsh beating from society, the protagonist can't help but recall his life before transferring schools. Back then, he was at the very bottom of the class hierarchy. Every day he had to endure bullying and humiliation from the school bully. The protagonist not only had to hand over his living expenses, but even had to act like a pig or dog to amuse others. Yet even so, he still couldn't avoid getting beaten. When he got home, the protagonist didn't dare tell about being bullied. He could only subtly hint to his mother about wanting to transfer schools. However, the family's financial situation didn't allow for a school transfer. The next day at school, even though it was the other person looking at their phone who bumped into the protagonist, but because this person had some connection with the school bully, it was the protagonist who ended up apologizing instead. During PE class, the protagonist was once again used as a target as usual. The other students in class chose to turn a blind eye. At most, they'd give a warning that the teacher was coming. When his mother came to school, she finally witnessed her son being bullied. Only then did she understand why her previously well-behaved son had such a dramatic personality change. After this incident, the protagonist's life at this school came to a complete end. His mother completed the transfer procedures for him. However, due to work obligations, his mother couldn't leave with the protagonist, so now he had to live alone. After listening to his mother's series of instructions for living alone, within a few days, the protagonist packed his bags and arrived at his compact rental apartment. Looking at the fresh new environment, the protagonist couldn't help but fantasize about a new life. After briefly organizing his luggage, he wandered the streets to familiarize himself with the area. Who would have known that the scene from the beginning of the video would occur? Soon, the video of the protagonist getting beaten up was uploaded to the internet. In this superficial age, the vast majority of netizens thought it was the protagonist's fault, and even launched personal attacks. At this moment, the protagonist felt like he wanted to die. Overwhelmed with grief, he fell into a drowsy sleep. But who would have thought that this very sleep would become the turning point of the protagonist's life?